But I do think it is their husbands' fault if wives do fall. Say that they slack their duties and pour our treasures into foreign laps, or else break out in peevish jealousies, throwing restraint upon us, or say that they strike us, or scant our former havings in despite. Why, we have galls, and though we have some grace, yet have we some revenge. Let husbands know that their wives have sense like them. They see and smell and have their palates both for sweet and sour, as husbands have. What is it that they do when they change us for others? Is it sport? I think it is. And doth affection breed it? I think it doth. Its frailty that thus errs? It is so too. And have not we affections, desires for sport, and frailty as men have? Then let them use us well, else let them know the ills we do, their ills instruct us so.
I left no ring with her. What means this lady? Fortune forbid my outside hath not charmed her. She made good view of me, indeed, so much that sure methought her eyes had lost her tongue. For she did speak in starts distractedly. She loves me. Sure, the cunning of her passion invites me in this churlish messenger. None of my lord's ring. Why, he sent her none. I am the man. If it be so as 'tis, poor lady, she were but I love a dream. Disguise, I see thou art a wickedness, wherein the pregnant enemy does much. How easy it is for the proper false in women's waxen hearts to set their forms. Alas, our frailty is the cause, not we, for such as we are made of, such we be. How will this badge? My master loves her dearly, and I, poor monster, fondest much on him. And she, mistaken, seems to dote on me. What will become of this? As I am man, my state is desperate for my master's love. As I am woman, now last the day. What thriftless sighs shall poor Olivia breathe? O time, thou must untangle this, not I. It is too hard a knot for me to untie.
First, let me tell you whom you have condemned. Not me, begotten of a shepherd's swain, but issued from the progeny of kings. Virtuous and holy, chosen from above by inspiration of celestial grace, to work exceeding miracles on earth. I never had to do with wicked spirits, but you that are polluted with your lusts, stained with the guiltless blood of innocence, corrupt and tainted with 1,000 vices, because you want the grace that others have. You judge it straight a thing impossible, to compass wonders but by help of devils? No, misconceived. Joan of Arc has been a virgin from her tender infancy, chaste and immaculate in very thought, whose maiden blood, thus rigorously effused, will cry for vengeance at the gates of heaven.
And why, I pray you? Who might be your mother that you insult, exalt all at once over the wretched? What though you have no beauty? As by my faith I see no more in you than in candle may go dark to bed. Must you be therefore so proud and pitiless? Why, what means this? Why do you look on me? I see no more in you than in the ordinary of nature's sales work. Odds my little life, I think she means to tangle my eyes too. No faith, proud mistress, hope not after it. 'Tis not your inky brows, your black silk hair, your bugle eyes, nor your cheeks of cream can entame myself to your worship. You foolish shepherd, wherefore do you follow her? Like foggy south puffing with the wind in the rain, you are 1,000 times a nobler man than she, a woman. 'Tis such fools as you that make the world full of such ill-favored children.
Full of vexation, I come with complaint against my child, my daughter, Hermia. Stand forth, Demetrius, and my noble lord. This man hath my consent to marry her. Stand forth, Lysander, and my gracious duke. This man hath bewitched the bosom of mine child. Thou, Lysander, thou hast given her rhymes and interchanged love tokens with mine child. By moonlight at her window sung, feigning voices verses of feigning love, and the stolen impression of her fantasy. With bracelets of thy hair, rings, gauds, coquettes, nackets, trifles, nosegays, sweetmeats, messengers. The strong prevailment of unhardened youth, cunning hast thou flinched my daughter's heart, turned her obedience, which is due to me, to stubborn harshness. And be it so she not before your grace consent to marry with Demetrius. I beg the ancient privilege of Athens, she is mine. I may dispose of her, whether that be to this gentleman or to her death.
She should have died hereafter. There would have been a time for such a word. Tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day until the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, out, brief candle. Life is but a walking shadow, a poor player who struts and frets his hour upon stage and then is heard of no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing.
Help me! Lysander, help me! Do thy best to pluck this crawling serpent from my breast. Ay me, for pity. What a dream was here! Lysander, look how I do quake with fear. Methought a serpent eat my heart away, and you sat smiling at his cruel prey. Lysander? What, removed? Lysander? Lord? What, out of hearing, gone? No sound, no word? Alack, speak, and if you hear, speak of all loves. I swoon almost with fear. No? Then I well perceive you all not nigh. Either death or you I'll find immediately.
The clock struck 9 when I did send the nurse. In half an hour she promised to return. Perchance she cannot meet him. That's not so. Oh, she is lame. Love's heralds should be thoughts, which 10 times faster glide than the sun's beams, driving back shadows over lowering hills. Therefore do nimble-pinioned doves draw love, and therefore hath the wind swift Cupid's wings. Now is the sun upon the hindmost hill of this day's journey, and from 9 till 12 is 3 long hours, yet she is not come. Hath she affections and warm youthful blood, she would be as swift in motion as a ball. My words would bandy her to my sweet love, and his to me. But old folks, many feign as they were dead, unwieldy, slow, heavy, and pale as lead. Oh God, she comes!
When my cue comes, call me and I will answer. My next is most fair Pyramus. Heyo! Peter Quince? Flute, the bellows mender? Snout the tinker? Starveling? Gods, my life, stolen hence, and left me asleep. I've had a most rare vision. I have had a dream. Past the wit of man to say what dream it was. Methought I was. There is no man can tell me what methought I was. And methought I had. But man is but a patched fool, if he will offer to say what methought I had. The eye of man hath not heard, the ear of man hath not seen, man's hand cannot taste, his tongue to conceive, nor his heart to report what my dream was. I will get Peter Quince to write a ballad of this dream. It shall be called bottom stream, because it hath no bottom. And I will sing it in the latter end of a play before the Duke. Peradventure, to make it the more gracious, I shall sing it at her death.
The quality of mercy is not strained. It droppeth as the gentle rain from heaven upon the place beneath. It is twice blessed. It blesseth him that gives, and him that takes. 'Tis mightiest in the mightiest. It becomes the throned monarch better than his crown. His scepter shows the force of temporal power, the attribute to awe and majesty wherein doth sit the dread and fear of kings. But mercy is above this sceptered sway. It is enthroned in the hearts of kings. It is an attribute to God himself. And earthly power doth then show likest God's when mercy seasons justice. Therefore, Jew, though justice be thy plea, consider this, that in the course of justice none of us should see salvation. We do pray for mercy, and that same prayer doth teach us all to render the deeds of mercy. I have spoke thus much to mitigate the justice of thy plea, which if thou follow, this strict court of Venice must needs give sentence against the merchant there.
How happy some or other some can be. Through Athens, I am thought as fair as she. But what of that? Demetrius thinks not so. He will not know what all but he do know. And as he errs, doting on Hermia's eyes, so I, admiring of his qualities, things base and vile, holding no quantity, love can transpose to form and dignity. Love looks not with the eyes, but with the mind, and therefore is winged Cupid painted blind. Nor hath love's mind of any judgment taste, wings, and no eyes figure unheedy haste. And therefore is love said to be a child, because in choice he is so oft beguiled.
But soft, what light through yonder window breaks? It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, who is already sick and pale with grief that thou her maid art far more fair than she. Be not her maid, since she is envious. Her vestal livery is sick and green, and none but fools do wear it. Cast it off. It is my lady, oh, it is my love, oh, that she knew she were. She speaks, yet she says nothing. What of that? Her eye discourses, I will answer it. I am too bold. 'Tis not to me she speaks. Two of the fairest stars in all the heaven, having some business, do entreat her eye to sparkle in their spheres till they return. What if her eyes were there, and they in her head? The brightness of her cheek would shame those stars, as daylight doth a lamp. Her eyes in heaven would through the airy region stream so bright that birds would sing and think it were not night. See how she rests her cheek upon that hand? Oh, that I might be a glove upon that hand, that I might touch that cheek.
You fools, I and my fellows are ministers of fate, the element of whom your swords are tempered. May as well wound the loud winds, or be mocked at stabs kill, the still closing waters as diminish. One dove that is in my plume. My fellow ministers are like invulnerable if you could hurt. Your swords are now too massy for your strengths and will not be uplifted, but remember, for that is my business to you, that you three from Milan did supplant good Prospero, exposed unto the sea, which hath requited him and his innocent child. For which foul deed the powers delaying, not forgetting, did incense the sea and shores and all the creatures that are against your peace. Thee thy son Alonso, they have breathed and do so pronounced by me. The lingering perdition worse than any death can be at once shall step by step attend you and your ways, whose wrath to guard you from, which here in the most desolate isles else falls upon your heads, is nothing but heart sorrow and a clear life ensuing.
This can be no trick. The conference was sadly born. They have the truth of this from Hero. They seem to pity the lady. It seems her affections have their full bent. Love me. Why, it must be requited. They say that I will bear myself proudly. If I receive the love come from her, that they say too that she will give no sign of affection. I did never think to marry. I must not seem proud. Happy are they that can hear their detractions and put them to mending. They say the lady is fair. 'Tis a truth. I cannot reprove it. I can bear them witness and virtuous, and 'tis so. However, it is no addition to her wit, nor no great argument against her folly, for I will be horribly in love with her. I may chance have some odd quirks and a few remnants of wit broken upon me, for I have railed so long against marriage. But doth not the appetite alter? A man love the meat in his youth that he cannot endure in his age? No. Shall quips and sentences and these paper bullets of the brain awe a man in his career of his humor? The world must be peopled. When I said I would die a bachelor, I did not think I shall live till I were married. Why, here comes Beatrice now. My, by this day she is a fair lady. I do spy some marks of love within her.
God's bread, it makes me mad. Day, night, hour, tide, time, work, play, alone and company, still my care hath been to have her matched. And having now provided a gentleman of noble parentage, of fair demesne, youthful and nobly trained, stuffed, as they say, with honorable parts, proportioned as once thought would wish a man, and to have a wretched, pulling fool, a whining mammet in her fortune's tender, to answer, I'll not wed, I cannot love, I am too young, I pray you pardon me. But as you will not wed, I'll pardon you. Graze where you will, you shall not house with me. Look to it, think on't. I do not use to jest. Thursday is near. Lay hand on heart, advise, and you be mine. I'll give you to my friend, and you be not. Hang, beg, starve, die in the streets, for by my soul I'll ne'er acknowledge thee, nor what I have shall do thee good. Trust to it, but think you, I'll not be forsworn.